I've been on self-improvement for like a few years, and I really enjoy partying, and I realized that partying and self-improvement are two things that don't go hand in hand with each other. And there's this narrative that you have to pick one, either self-improvement or partying, or degeneracy, and you can't really do both. And partying in general is described in this exaggerated way, and I think this is just to get more attention and to like make this whole topic more ambivalent and have these two sides. And I believe that, and I followed these people saying don't party, it's terrible, don't go out with friends, etc. And I actually became depressed, and I this was the worst period of my life, and I actually lost pretty much all my friends from school. And still to this day, this bear in mind this was like 1 or 2 years ago, I'm still trying to get closer to them, and they have like these other friends, and I'm here alone, and they're closer with each other. And still to this day, it's like kind of hard for me to accept that. And only after a while, I realized that I didn't want to accept that. I don't want to just see them having fun without me, and I being on this cool self improvement grind. But I'm actually depressed. So I tried to solve this issue, and there are lots of self improvement gurus who will just tell you this is bad to party because it's so popular to say if you think about it. For example, Hamza brought this term degeneracy into the world, and it's basically just used to describe these people as bad, and it's just a really negative term. And I think it's of course true to some extent, but it's really exaggerated. And also all these little loners in Adonis Gang, for example, I go there pretty much every day, and they all tell you it's bad, bro, don't do it, bro. But they are actually oppressed like I was, and they make less progress and feel worse than I do now, and I still go to parties sometimes. And just a quick disclaimer before I start: I don't want you to start drinking if you're not drinking already. Yeah, this is just you can have, of course, go to parties without drinking, but many people, and I did this too, and I still do this. I drink at parties. Yeah, so I'm gonna explain to you just why you should want to party if you don't already. Most of the fun stories I have are nights out, and I can show something on screen here of like weird things I did, but all these funny stories I'm gonna tell my grandchildren, or I tell my classmates when I see them at school. Uh, Pretty much all of them happened when I was partying or when I was drinking with friends. And sorry. Second thing is you can socialize, and you make lots of friends at parties, or just meeting with people drinking, for example. And I already said that it's really correlated to depression. I learned this the hard way, that you can't really be happy when you're just all the time by yourself. At least for me, that's true. For you probably as well. I think we humans are pretty similar. The third point is just girls. When I went out more, I learned a lot just how to flirt. And contrary to like many people say, there are only low quality girls at parties, and I think that's not true. There are actually lots of high quality girls, especially if it's like a house party or something planned from school, some school event. So yeah, you can definitely find good women there, but of course you don't have to go there for the women. It's just something a lot of people do. Mostly, you probably go to parties because of the women, even if you don't really think it. Just it's probably true. Um, the last thing you gain from going to parties is status, and that's especially true if you host parties, but also just if you go to parties a lot. Just think about it, that you are this guy coming into the party, and there are like 20 people greeting you, and just imagine how the girls in the back are looking at you because you're this famous guy that everybody knows. And this can actually happen, and it's not really that hard to achieve. You just have to get to know some people and socialize more. There are three problems that come with partying on self improvement, and it's mainly just that partying fucks your next day. Like, you probably can relate to this. You've went out, and the next day you don't do your cold shower, for example. You don't meditate because you have a headache. You feel like shit. You don't go to the gym because you have a hangover. You don't go outside. You don't socialize. You just sit inside, eat shit food, and yeah. Um, so this comes from alcohol, just having a hangover, but of course it's also unhealthy. The second thing, sleep deprivation. This happens when you uh, either you just sleep worse or you sleep too little. For example, when you have to just wake up early, but you stayed up late, which is not something I would recommend. And the third thing is that like partying is really correlated to degeneracy. It's basically partying is basically degeneracy, if you think about it that way. But these problems like making out drunk or degenerate sex, I don't think they're this bad. And let me catch my breath real quick. Another thing you might say that is bad when you go to parties is this degenerate environment that maybe you're afraid you're gonna adapt to that and you're gonna become one of those low quality people. And I'm gonna tell you briefly why in a moment, but that's actually not true. And you can pretty much uh, what's the word? You can prevent you can prevent this pretty easily. So yeah, just I'm gonna explain to you the solutions to all those problems right now. And another quick disclaimer: the solutions are not perfect. If you could just go out and party and drink as much as you want without any uh, negative effects on your health or on your journey on self improvement, I wouldn't have to make this video. You would just go, you would just go fucking into bars drinking every night. But that's not true. Hence why I make this video. So first of all, how you can handle the hangover or just the negative effects of alcohol is what I would call controlled drinking. So you just want to find this sweet spot where you, for example, for me, I just drink like one or two beers and then I just drink nothing for like half an hour. And then I drink like one beer over like 15 minutes, don't drink anything again for half an hour. And I'm constantly at this like heightened mood, but I'm not blacked out drunk. Of course, I've been there before, but these are the nights where you end up fucked up and the next days are also fucked. So you want to only be slightly drunk. Um, and I think being slightly drunk is actually more fun than being super, super drunk because the after effects are just so much worse. So this comes from experience a bit, but you should know when you have enough. And the second thing is with alcohol is you should sober up before you go to sleep. So I've wrote down you should stop drinking about an hour before you go home. So at the party, when you know you're going home in like half an hour, drinking more does not do anything because the effects only kick in like half an hour later, maybe. Um, so this just fucks you up. Don't do it. Think about when you will leave and just stop drinking like about an hour before. This will already sober you up just a little bit. I'm sorry. Um, then also, let me just see what I wrote down. Yeah, when you're at home, you should drink water, preferably water, and also just a lot of water, like not 1 liter, but just like at least half a liter of water. And what I always do is I just relax. I just, for example, watch basketball because the NBA games are pretty much at midnight for me because of the time zones. So I just go home, watch some basketball, and I only go to sleep when I'm like barely sober, when I'm like only like a bit drunk. Because if I go to sleep really drunk, my hangover is gonna be so fucking disgusting, and the next day is just like I said, the next day is fucked. So yeah, I only go to sleep when I'm already pretty much sober. Of course, sobering out completely takes a lot of time, because I believe I've heard this in the podcast by Matt Walker, the sleep podcast, that how your body works with alcohol is basically um, it takes longer for every bit more you have to get rid of out of your system. For example, the first 50% of your alcohol gets really quick, then the next 25% takes even longer. So basically, just it's exponential. So you can get rid of a lot of the effects really quick, but getting completely rid of the alcohol out of your system takes a lot of time. So just you can't go to sleep being completely sober if you drink. Like it's I think it's not possible. And then just to come to the second point of sleep, just get up later. So if you can't get up later, you should not go to party late. You should go home at like, I don't know, you should go home early enough so you have enough sleep. But you should only party when the next day is not fully planned out, when you don't have something due at the morning. So only go to parties when you can get up later. Another thing is don't stay too long. For me, mostly staying like maximum 1 or 2 a.m. because at most parties afterwards, pretty much all the people are gone and it only gets worse, so you're not really missing out. There's this fear of missing out on parties a lot, actually, and if you stay until like 1 or 2 a.m., you chances that you miss something amazing are really low, trust me. And sometimes with sleep, especially because you sleep worse when you drink alcohol, you just have to take the L. Like I already said in the disclaimer, there's no perfect solution. You can still try to sleep as much as possible, but it will never be perfect if you drink. Just keep that in mind. But you can, with the things I said before about sobering up, you can improve your sleep a lot, actually. I apologize. um, the third thing, so that I said there's a problem with degeneracy at parties. So I think if you're scared of like making out drunk with people or having degenerate sex, uh, first of all, it's your choice. It's your choice whether you want to indulge in that. And for me personally, it's not a really big problem because I'm not a chat yet. I don't really have girls that run at me and want me to fuck them. Uh, so this doesn't really apply to me. Um, a thing I do, or how I deal with these degenerate environments, is just I observe them. It's like a game, and I can tell you a quick story for that. It was really fucked. I went to a party with a few friends. It was in the woods, at this campfire, and there were people just suddenly people like we were just drinking beer, having fun, and suddenly people started taking MDMA, like which was new to me. I didn't really notice that at parties. So people started taking MDMA and they were really tripping out. And me and my friends, like really, I had this one friend that we just played pranks on them because they were so fucked up. It was really funny. And then we just sat there and we saw some people snort fucking cocaine. Bear in mind, I think they were like 16, 17, maybe 18. So like this is fucked. And you can't help these people. So this actually leads to the next point. You should not judge these people. You get depressed when you do that. You should just accept them for the degenerates they are, and don't let that like affect you. You should just be yourself and just let them be themselves. Because if you're at this campfire just drinking, there are people taking cocaine, uh, they're not gonna they're not gonna change because of you, and they don't need to. That's fine. They don't need to be your friends. They can just be they can be just observed by you. And like I already said before, that with these high quality girls, there are lots of high quality people in general, and not only high quality girls, but just boys as well. And many don't actually drink. For example, I have this one friend who's like pretty high status. He's kind of good looking. He's really tall, like 2 meters, and like everybody knows him. He knows everybody's crazy, and he never drinks. I've never saw him take one drink. So you don't have to drink at parties to gain status. And there's people probably think like you have to be this guy. You can drink so much beer, or you can be so good at these drinking games like beer pong, rage cage. I don't know, some other games. But you don't have to. You don't have to drink at all to be high status. To have fun even. You don't have to drink. For me, it's just more convenient. I don't know. I think you can relate. So yeah, um, there's basically the video. Just before you stop, just think about this for yourself. Like, do you really want to party? Because probably you do. I wanted to as well. And if you feel lonely or depressed in some way, you should start doing it. And just keep that in mind. What I've said. Maybe rewatch the part where I talk about how you can avoid a hangover, because that's really important. And if you think about it, if you go to a party, you don't stay too long, you don't drink too much, you sober up before you go to sleep. The next day, and I still do this to this day, the next day I still wake up early, I do my cold shower, I meditate, I journal, I still go to the gym, even though I've drunk the last day. So you can still do both. It's really possible. Like I said, um, people judge it a lot, but it's really not that. It's really not that deep. And I think you should really like take this into consideration what I've said, and just yeah, have fun with your life, because you only live once. And like all these people like Hamza, for example, they went to parties a lot as well, and that's where they made all these experiences. Imagine if Hamza never went to these parties, for example, and never picked up these girls, never fucked those girls in the woods, or I don't know what the stories exactly are, but he would not be as successful as he is right now if he would have just been at home studying or going to the gym. Like, you have to socialize in a way to get experience, but also just to enjoy life in a way. So yeah, take that with a grain of salt, I suppose. But yeah, definitely you should enjoy life more. And to my younger self who was depressed, go out more. You can drink sometimes. Don't go out every day, every week, but you can have more fun than you're allowing yourself right now, and you're gonna feel way better because of that. So yeah, I hope your life gets better after you watch this video.